it up, pump it up.
Trae.
Come on, come on.
With Trae.
Pump it up, pump it up.
It's the day with
This is the day to gain inspiration, to make a positive change in the nation. We're inviting you to partake in conversation, to raise your vibration. It's the day that we will all celebrate all of our peeps that make this thing elevate. Watch the negative fade away, cause it's the day with Trae.
Grand Rising, everyone. Welcome to the Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. I get to welcome you to a magnificent Monday, and I'm really excited because my big bro, Marcus Harden, is in the building. We're going to be talking about the Academy of Creating Excellence, and I'm so excited because he's going to be here to share a bit of their journey and, of course, their upcoming scholarship gala. So I'm looking forward to diving in with him. But, of course, you know, I get to dive in with you. This is the top of the show, and this is the time where you get to go ahead and share this show with folks who you feel could benefit from the daily dose of dopeness we work to give you here on The Day with Trae. And if you can't watch our TV show, we always have you covered, y'all. You can always listen to us anywhere you find your favorite podcast. Just search Converge Media Network and The Day with Trae, and you will find us there. Well, before I get into it, Marcus, after the break, I get to tell y'all about the phenomenal time that we had to celebrate the history of Black Dot Underground. Now, I know I spoke about it last week a little bit, but I just gotta say, it was so beautiful to be able to share stories of that space and talk about how people have been able to organize and connect and build businesses in that space. You know, we opened it up for community members to come in who have been impacted by Black Dot Underground. And so many of them shared how they built community there. They got introduced to community there. They were able to be inspired by other people's stories and businesses to create their own. Now, what I'm always talking about is how inspiration can do so much for all of us, right? It is the antithesis to apathy. You know, you're at home, you know, everything is on your phone pretty much. You can scroll, try to get entertained, try to get the feels you feel you may need, right? A lot of folks are watching shows online and on their phones. So the individualism is real, but there is something that cannot be met on the phone. And I will say, when you are in community, you feel it. Now, you can have WhatsApp and talk to people all over the globe on your phone. So I'm not going to take away from that because there's a lot of families that stay connected across borders because of apps like that. But I will say, finding your community in place is so important. You know, bringing your brilliance to something that's bigger than yourself is important. It benefits those around you and truly energizes the area that you are in. The beauty that I got to experience by hearing everyone's stories and sharing my own was that we all had this common theme. It was community. You know, if you are in community, it means that you're actually actively participating in being in community, in continuing to build community, in learning from the legacies of that community. There's so much that happens in different spaces, in regions of our world, let alone our state. But the idea is that you can learn from other people who have those lived experiences, and that enriches what you understand about a specific place is beautiful. So I want to just thank everyone who over these years made Black Dot Underground a really special place, because I'll tell you what, as soon as I walked through those doors, my life was forever changed for the better. So thank you, Black Dot Underground, for all you gave to me and to everyone else. Truly, it was a pleasure and an honor to be able to utilize parts of my energy to energize that space. And the great thing is that a lot of the programs and the community building that we experience there is expanding out into community. So be on the lookout for some upcoming opportunities to engage in community at Langston Hughes, at William Grove Center, and soon to be Africatown Plaza. So there's plenty more that's going on, and where community will continue to build in the Central District, staying rooted in place right here to build upon the beautiful legacy that you always see behind me. So shout out to everyone who was there, who energized the space, who shared. Thank you, thank you, thank you, because we're all better for all of us being in space and building community together. Now, after this short break, y'all, Marcus Harden is coming up next to tell us about how they're building community right there at Academy for Creating Excellence, and an opportunity for us all to tap in for their scholarship gala. You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Seattle Opera presents the world premiere of Jubilee. Jubilee follows the historic Fisk Jubilee Singers' initial tours following the Civil War. While raising funds for the fledgling Fisk University, the group shared their music around the world, showcasing more than 40 African-American spirituals such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Deep River, and Wade in the Water. Jubilee is not to be missed. October 12th through 26th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Disney and Cameron McIntosh's Mary Poppins comes to life on stage at the Fifth Avenue Theatre, featuring Step in Time and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Make it a jolly holiday at Mary Poppins. For tickets, visit fifthavenue.org.
I learned about the ANU program through many different community organizations. The program, they're very good at making sure that you meet the right people. My favorite part would have to be the community building and also the volunteer opportunities as well. I've been working on my physical health a lot more. I've been intentional about that, and they're very big on that. I'm still learning how transformational it is because there's just so much opportunity. It's a great program and they will support you.
Visit the link at the end of this video to learn more.
Welcome back, y'all, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Joining me right now is Marcus Harden. Hi.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. It's so good to be with you.
It is good to be with you. I'm proud of you. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. You know, y'all don't know, he has seen me grow for real, So this is really an honor to be able to have you here. Now, you've been in education for a really long time. Tell us a bit about your journey and what got you into the education industry.
Ooh, we're gonna do that, huh? So this is my Kobe year, 24th year in education. So started at Madrona K-8 with somebody we both know well as a counselor, and moved up and was a teacher, ended up being a principal. Have founded schools and worked in education, and for the last 12 years, been one of the co-founders of the Academy for Creating Excellence. We'll talk about a little bit about that later. So I've been blessed, adoptive parent of 6 of my former students, so literally took the work home as well. So just have believed in the journey and the power of education for a long time, especially right here in Seattle. As a proud Rainier Beach Viking, but everything else has come with it. So,
well, it's beautiful too, because you have really exemplified what it means to be a mentor, to be that example, and to shine on the future generations. Tell us about your connection to that and why you stuck so true to that, and how you brought that into your home, and why.
I think early on, seeing that there was just such a depth or a lack of, especially Black male educators, which is something we really focus on at ACE. I was one of the only lonelies for a little bit. There were some other brothers who were in and out, but for a long stretch, about 5 years in my first 8 at Madrona, I was one of 2. And just seeing like there was not a lot of us, and I didn't have a Black male teacher until I was in college. My junior year of college, Professor Al Black, and I was a super junior, so that was like my 6th year of college. And so just realizing there wasn't a whole bunch of that. And one for, I guess they all say you're teaching the person you wanted to be, but then also understanding why my ministry has been working with young men, for the young ladies. They needed it too. They needed that person and that figure. And at the time, I had the time and the ability and the support network, so it just felt really important to me to be the thing that I wanted to see and the thing I used to wish for as a young man. I had some incredible coaches and mentors myself, but wanting to have that constant was important for me. And then surrounding myself as I grew with other brothers and strong sisters who did the same. So.
Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you publicly for all that you've done and continue to do in this space of being a real beacon for young people and especially our young Black males out here. You know, as a mother of two Black males, I'm always thinking, you know, how can I enrich their lives and make sure that they're in the right environments to be, you know, scholars of folks like yourself, right, who are doing the right thing and wanting to share how to do that, because it's so important that there's cultural responses to that. So starting schools, I mean, I want to talk about this because you're talking about starting schools and it takes me back to like right after enslavement, where we had the opportunity to really involve ourselves in creating what we needed. And so I love that you have had the mindset to say there's some gaps here that need to be filled with some other creative ways of building educational institutions. Tell us more about how you started really starting schools.
Really seeing the need. So my first few years at Madrona, some different places, I was just like, man, what if we did this differently? And then started having conversations with my brother CJ, my brother Willie, about a nonprofit that could maybe start a school. At the time, I was with Seattle Public Schools still, and so I had the opportunity to work in the alternative school space, and we had a partnership with the Rainier Vista Boys and Girls Club. And at the time, there was over 200 middle school students who had been suspended, and just saw the need. So I was like, well, what if we partner with them and we create a middle school for them? So had the blessing and the ability to do that. That was kind of my first time getting to have like, you know, a theory of action turn into a theory of change. And so I got to create Simba, great partnership with the folks down there for a couple years. But again, that one was more out of necessity of kids who had been displaced. So I started thinking about through that journey at interagency and co-creating and co-designing there, like, what does it look like to not create a school out of just surviving, but what does it look like to create a school out of thriving? And so I had the blessed opportunity through a couple fellowships. Shout out to Camelback Ventures, which is one for social entrepreneurs. I think their application's open now. It's the only reason I'm shouting it out, but for Black and brown social entrepreneurs to take my idea. Sadly, the idea I wanted was to create a school ACE here for Black males. The Washington state laws won't allow for a free, public, all single gender school. So I took my talents to Atlanta and had the blessing there to try to create ACE Atlanta, a mirror of the work we're doing up here. COVID hit, so that wasn't available, but God has blessed me in so many ways. So I was telling the same story at a Black mixer in Atlanta and ran into some folks who connected me with some other folks who were starting a school for basketball players, but needed to find somebody who had school design experience, who knew how to work with Black males. Literally just in the right place at the right time. So that led to 6 months later, working with Overtime, which is its own media company, who was starting a basketball league. And I was the head of academics and development. So took my school design with powerful sister down there, Maisha Riddlespringer, and an amazing staff. And so created that, a first of its kind league for young men who were pursuing professional careers, who were gonna be paid for the first time in the United States. So first time we did that. And then spent the last 3 years doing that until this time last year when I came back home. But that school is still thriving, that league is thriving. It was at the epicenter of having students who were taller than me for the first time, having students who were paid. We got to be at the trailblazing of NIL. So what does that look like for students to do that? So literally every year iterating. So year one, designing a school just for basketball players who wanted to pursue that, learn financial literacy, mental health. To year two, you know, I got a young man at Stanford, young man who went to Kentucky. So just was an amazing experience. So got to grow and be around other great Black leaders in Atlanta. It's in the Mecca, right? You and Wakanda. And so got to be around that. So have now gotten the opportunity to bring some of that back home, and you know, we'll see what happens.
Wow. And so now we have Academy for Creating Excellence here. Tell us about how you were able to take the model and start really building something here.
I mean, if I'm honest, the model helped me build that. So we've been in existence for 12 years. So myself, CJ Dancer, Willie Seals, 12 years ago, just started out on a dream. Started building programming slowly but surely, and started expanding. Started with Goodwill back in the day, and then had a long partnership with SBS, specifically South Shore, where we did our summer learning experience. And then we started seeing the needs. Again, we started seeing the needs of the young men, but also creating avenues for more Black male teachers. So then we created the Black Male Educator Institute, which has been running now for about 5 or 6 years. Through the pandemic, through a partnership with the city, started creating Saturday programming and then programming for, we call it the Fame Game, programming for people who have, young men who have not had a great academic experience but need that social emotional support. And also other partnerships like YOMI, which is our way of workforce development for young men becoming facilitators of mental health practices to their near peers. It's a lot. But all those things have been built with that. And so it's ACE has actually led to a lot of my creation, a lot of the baselines. So our baselines are all in our core kind of tenets of family, academics, motivation, and environment. And everything is rooted from there. So belonging, safety, and then taking everything you're learning and just being a better young man for it and going back in the community. So ACE has actually been at the root of everything I've tried to build, and it's been a beautiful place to be able to explore the ideas we've had and learn. Our feedback loops are from our young people. Like, they drive everything we do.
You know, this model of young folks being a part of decision-making in institutions, I'm such a fan of it. And I've seen how it works so well, because if you're designing for them, with them, it changes the game. I think there's a lot of ideas that we may have that sometimes miss the mark, and their experience allows you to actually hit the target. And so I'm sure you're experiencing that. Now, y'all have this amazing scholarship gala coming up, and I want to hear all about this, because this is an opportunity for folks to really pour in and tap into what you all are doing. Tell us more about this gala.
We are a nonprofit. And so Saturday, October 19th, 5:30 p.m. at the Fairmont Olympic Hotel will be our third gala, which will be pushing into scholarships and just general operations for what we do year round. And so we'll be giving away $5,000 scholarships to compound the 5 we gave away last year. This year's theme is Harlem Nights. So I was laughing before, because if you look behind this wonderfully curated wall, so much of the attire then is what we're going for. But the one thing we like to say, Willie, CJ, and myself, is like, it ain't your mama's gala, right? We're gonna raise money, we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do it our way. We like to bring that same energy that we bring to the youth to our events. And so our best piece is when we get the feedback, even from the gala, that says, we thought it was gonna be that normal kind of sitting up, no shade to other galas, by the way. However, we're gonna have a good time. So, put your good stuff on, put on your Elizabeth Arden, put on your cool water and some good furs and whatnot, and come celebrate. But more importantly, pour in. We were talking about this a little. I think the beauty is we've been around 12 years. And so it's been an amazing journey. And I think sometimes when you know this, like community organizations who do good work, people just think it happens by magic. And I didn't tell the whole origin story, but CJ, Willie, and myself were volunteer employees of this nonprofit for a long time, right? And none of us have ever done it for the paycheck, but it is about things take time to run and work. We spent a lot of this summer responding to the youth violence that was happening, opening our doors. We just had a Black male educator convening yesterday. So the gala is an amazing place to just build. It's kind of our showcase event, but to be in community, but then to showcase these beautiful opportunities. And these scholarships are evergreen. And so the scholarships we give this year, those same young men will get re-upped on this next year, and it compounds. So in 2 years, we'll have 20 young men all getting $1,000 every year. And the more we have people coming to support, that 1,000 can go up. And anybody who knows the journey, I ain't been as broke as I was until I was in college. Right. First time I ever stole. We ain't gonna talk about that on this, but yes. So please come support October 19th. It's gonna be an amazing time for an even greater cause.
Well, this is what this show is all about. It's uplifting opportunities like this, because I think sometimes people just don't know. And I also agree with you that when you are a nonprofit and you do good work, people think everybody is already donating to you. The money pours in because they see the great work you're doing, and it doesn't require them to tap into their own dollars. So I really appreciate that you're here to share this opportunity for folks to tap in. Of course, I got to give you space to look right here in the camera, let them know how they get their tickets, how they donate. Tell them all the details.
All right, I'll look right into this one. So www.aceacademywa.org is where you can go. You get all the info about the gala. You can donate if you cannot come. We still have sponsorship opportunities, donation opportunities, and that's year round, but specifically for the gala, that's where you can go. You can find us the same on social media, Instagram, even on Facebook, where you can talk to your auntie and donate to us at the same time. So October 19th, Fairmont Olympic Hotel, ACE Academy WA, that's where you can find us.
Wow. Marcus, thank you so much for your great work. It's
Thank
such an honor to know you and to hear just the story, how long I've known you. And now I got the full grasp of everything that you've been doing. Thank you so much. And thank you to the ACE team for all of the work that y'all been pouring in all these years.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate you. We'll see you at the gala.
Absolutely.
All right.
Y'all, this is what I'm talking about. You know, I'm super inspired. I'm going to be wrapping up all this inspiration right after this short break. Stay tuned. You're watching The Day with Trae.
Here on Back to Basa, it's always been important to me that we uplift stories from across the region and that no matter where you live in the nation, you never have to miss a moment of the show as we continue to highlight the beauty, excellence, and resilience of our communities across the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because representation matters. So no matter where you live, be it the Central District or Centralia, Portland or Pullman, or anywhere across the country, I encourage you to join me on this Back to Basa journey by downloading the free Fox Local app on your phone or smart TV as we continue to elevate the very best in our communities.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Trae Holiday. We're teaming up with Public Health Seattle and King County to remind you that back to school time means making sure your kids are up to date on their vaccinations. Public Health Seattle and King County is offering free back-to-school vaccine clinics for kids ages 0 to 18 all fall. You heard that right, free. No matter what your insurance situation is, they got you covered. Getting your kids vaccinated is the best way to protect them from serious diseases like measles, mumps, and whooping cough, and it's required for them to attend school or childcare. So call your health clinic pediatrician or doctor today to make sure your kids have all their required vaccinations. You can also visit kingcounty.gov/find a clinic to find a clinic near you. Let's work together to keep our kids healthy and in school. Peace. Welcome back, everyone, to The Day with Trae. I'm your host, Trae Holiday. Huge thank you to Marcus for being here and sharing his journey and how he has not only been doing it in the public, but said, I need to bring this work home. I need to be doing this for young men in my home. Shout out to folks like Marcus. I mean, there's so many who are beacons in our community who do it day in and day out. And we've talked about this before, y'all. Sometimes it feels like it's thankless jobs, but honestly, the impact that you're making for young folks and for community is a greater benefit than we can ever ask for. And also these kinds of opportunities for us to pour in to an institution that is doing such great work and really truly making an impact where it matters most. I encourage all of you to make sure you go to the website, donate today. If you can't attend the gala, figure out a way to support ACE because they are doing great work. You know, I'm inspired because I want you to be inspired too. Every time I get the opportunity to talk to someone and bring inspiration into your life, I'm going to do it, y'all. That's just it. I'm going to do it. So just like Marcus showed us here today, you too can find your way to be a part of the solution. There's plenty of solutions that are out there and more that need to be created, and they need your brilliance. So I want you to be inspired, y'all. Tap in with ACE, tap in with your community, and find ways to build and strengthen those around you. Thanks so much for starting your week off with me today. And you know, I'll be back with y'all tomorrow. Until then, at 11 a.m., y'all, peace. Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.